Hey there, what's going on? Today is Sunday, June 1st, 2008. I am YouTubing from Riverside Park. Don't believe me? I'll show you. Look, I'm outside and there's Wi-Fi. Oh, I love it. So cool. What's going on? Today, as I said, 1st of June. We're 6 months into the year. This is Pride Month. I'm back in New York. I've got new hair. I was getting sick of the red. Yeah, so I'm here. And it's a beautiful day. It's my day off. And I'm just enjoying the park, you know? Okay, let's talk about my last video. It was a very hard moment, but it became a very big one that I think has changed something in my relationship with my parents. When I did tell my parents that I was gay, which was years ago, it didn't change anything, you know? They've been nothing but supportive of just me in general, and loving and encouraging and there for me. But they're not that happy about the gay thing. They never have been. I remember thinking to myself when I first told them, you know, I am not going to become this cliche. I am not going to sit here and struggle with my parents and acceptance, and I'm not going to go through that. That is their journey. I'm telling them this because I want to share my life with them, and the rest is their process. Up until now, it's always been enough for me that my parents might not really embrace my being gay. I never really needed them to. Because that's sort of how I feel about it in general, you know? I don't need anyone to understand my being gay or to accept it or to, you know what I mean? It's not for you to understand or to accept. It's just, it's there. Like my brown eyes, it's there. It doesn't matter. That's how I've sort of always felt about it, especially where my family's concerned. But on this trip, I took a look at how involved they are in my sister's relationship. You know, this guy that she's with, there are pictures of him all over my mom's house. He's on the emergency contact page on the fridge. I hear my mom on the phone with her sisters speaking in Spanish, and she'll say, "Oh, Lisa and Rick, blah, 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 blah." So, like, he's a part of their life. He's a part of their world because they see how important he is to my sister. They know they're probably going to get married soon. Seeing all of that, it really made me realize that I am not getting that at all. And it made me realize that I do care. I do deserve exactly that kind of interest and that care about my love. So the trip home was hard for me. I felt a lot like an outsider. My mom asked me questions about everybody else in my life. People I went to school with in high school, people I worked with in college, like people who I don't even remember anymore. My mom just did everything she could to ask about anyone else, but never once asked me, how's Nick doing? How are things going? And it just bothered me so much. When I was at dinner, we all went to dinner the night before I left with some relatives who I haven't seen in a while, people I'm not particularly close to, but, you know, it was nice to see them. And one of my aunts turned to me at the dinner table and she was like, "So, Chris, do you have a girlfriend?" It really bothered me that she even asked me that question. It bothered me that she didn't know that I wouldn't have a girlfriend. So I was like, "No, I have a boyfriend." And she just started laughing. And my other aunt that was at the table, she started laughing too. Two guys together, that's not normal, because they're gay and that's not normal, so it must be a joke. I looked over at my parents and they were both just staring at their cell phones. And at that moment, I felt so closeted. I felt like my parents put me in the closet. And then the subject changed and it went other places. And that was not a good night. For the rest of the night, I didn't have much to say. So unlike my parents, you know, it's not like them to have this elephant in the room. That's not who we have ever been. We don't pretend in my family, and this whole trip I felt like there was a lot of pretending. I'm not embarrassed, but clearly my parents are, and I guess I wanted to address that with them. So at the airport, I talked to them about it, and it was a very painful conversation. Most of the conversation was me talking, and I got really emotional. I didn't know it was going to happen that way, but I did. I was crying, and they got really emotional too. You know, I want to be really clear. I'm not trying to villainize my parents. They're not these backwood, redneck, you know, Bible thumping folk. So I don't want to like box them into this little category of a type of parent. But, you know, they didn't change their stance. They don't feel any differently, and it hurts them so much that they don't. But I don't think that they realize that it's not that they can't accept my relationship with Nick. It's that they won't. The ironic part of all of this is my sister's boyfriend, his family, they are not very accepting of my sister because of these very old-fashioned ideas that they have. She's mixed race. She's half Mexican and half white. She's also not a Baptist, and they have a real issue with that. And it kills my parents that she is up against that. It kills them that someone could keep our Lisa at arm's length and not give her a chance and maybe never really get to know her. And it kills them that these people would choose to stay out of their son's happiness, rather than be a part of it, choose to just prove a point and let him know that they don't support it. And of course I brought this up to their attention. Of course I was like, you realize that you are being hypocrites, that everything that you don't want Lisa to go through, you are putting Nick through. They didn't know what to say, you know. They were sorry, but this is how they feel. So that's when I started to cry less and toughen up a little bit more. And then I was just like, okay, well, let me make a few things clear. I will not be coming back here again unless Nick is with me. And I will not be coming to Lisa's wedding without Nick. You won't be coming to New York to spend time with me without him being a part of that. And when you go to DC this summer, like I know you want to, I'm not going to be meeting you without him. So these aren't conditions. These are just the facts. I need you to understand this. I hugged them and I told them that I love them and that I need them. And then I left. That was the story behind that video. I'm not going to talk about this anymore because I left that back there. And I'm not going to cut my parents out of my life, you know? And I'm not going to make them fake something that they don't feel. I need them in my life. And I can't carry this sadness around with me. So I'm not going to. I love them, and they'll get updates, and they'll still get phone calls, and you know, things that make me laugh, I'm going to share it with them. But Nick will be a part of those things. It was a big, important step that I took in that trip to Texas. And that's not the trip or the step I was thinking was going to happen. But that's where I am now. I feel older. So, enough of this heavy stuff. It is a gorgeous day in New York. It is early in the evening. I have nothing to do, and I am just going to go have a great day. Thank you, everybody. Thank you. Enough sadness. No more tears. Look,
no more. My tears have dried on their own. Now look at this.
I'm in the park. Woohoo! Wi-Fi rocks.